Hello everybody and welcome to another Mystery Box Function Challenge. In this purple mystery box there's some math and your challenge is to figure out what that math is. You can click the link in the description, put in as many numbers as you like and see how they are transformed. When you think you've got an idea about what's inside that mystery box, come on back, watch the rest of the video and see if we get the same thing. All right, let's begin with a 0. Okay, 0 gives us 0. How about 1? Oh, so 1 gives us 1/10. So maybe this is a really a line with a really shallow slope. Let's try a -1 and see if it's going to be point or negative 0.1 there. Oh no, it's also positive. Okay, so maybe this is a quadratic. Maybe this is an absolute value function. Let's try a 2. Okay, I think I see what's going on. Let's try a -2. So if you think a function is either an absolute value or a quadratic because it's got this sort of symmetrical shape to it, the way to tell is to look at the slopes between the points. An absolute value would have a constant slope because these would just be two lines, and a quadratic wouldn't. It would be a curve. And maybe you can see already that this is a curve just from looking at it, but you can also tell from the numbers. We go up 0.1 from 0 to 1, and then we go up another 0.3 from 1 to 2. So that is not the same slope between those two sections of the curve. So this is definitely a curve. So this must be a quadratic. So we've got, just to begin our function here, f of x equals, it's right at the origin, so I don't have to add or subtract anything. I think this is the vertex here. I do believe I'm going to have a multiplier because this does not look, well, it looks much wider, much shallower than your typical parabola of f of x equals x squared. What is this multiplier? Well, a good place to start to determine that is 1. If I put in 1, I want to get out 0.1, but I don't know what the multiplier is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a variable. I'm going to call that a times x squared, and then I'm going to put in my number for x and my number for y and solve that equation. So I'm going to put 0.1 for y, that's on the f of x side. Then I'm going to leave my a there because that's what I'm trying to find out. And what I put in for x was just 1, so 1 squared. Well, a times 1 squared, it's just a. 1 squared is 1 times a is a. So a equals 0.1. So this is f of x is, and I'll write this as a fraction, 1/10 times x squared. So that's what this told us. That's a way you can get those numbers, doing a little bit of algebra. Let's make sure this is working. Let's predict another point. So what would happen if we put in a 3 here? Well, 3 squared times 1/10, that 3 times 3 times 3 is 9, so that'd be 9 times 1/10, or 9/10, or 0.9 as it'll come out here uh, in our chart. So let's put in a 3 and see if we get a 0.9. And we did get a 0.9. With computers, there are some very small errors because it has to convert numbers between binary code that it does its math in and then our decimal counting system. So this 0.9 with a whole bunch of zeros and then a 1 is really the computer's best estimation of 0.9. So I think we've got it right here. Let's go ahead and reveal. Yeah, there it is. So 1/10 x squared. And let's look at that graph. Yeah, beautiful, broad, shallow parabola. Well, how did that go for you? Did you see this was a parabola? And if so, were you able to find that multiplier? Kind of tricky. Well, thanks everybody.